the whole delta technology and the whole the shape of the wing was transferred from the Vulcan to Concorde. Yeah.
So how did you come about piloting this wonderful aircraft?
I was very lucky. I was in the RAF as a young flying officer. I happened to be in the right place at the right time when they needed a display pilot, and so I did my first 2 years as a display pilot on the Vulcan when I was just 22 years old in the RAF.
What do you think it is about it that makes it so timeless? I think it's an old aircraft, we know that, but when you look at it, I think, it still feels and looks quite contemporary.
Yes, it's a very strange design. I think partly the reason that it's so well loved is because of the distinctive shape. And when people see this great big triangle, known as a tin triangle, flying around, they can see it from miles and miles away, and everybody knows exactly what aircraft it is.
Also, the painted design of it as well makes it still stand out immediately.
Yeah, I mean, originally when it was designed as a high-level bomber, they were painted white, and that was sort of the camouflage for sort of flying very high in the sky. In the 60s, when Gary Powers was shot down, 60,000 feet, they realised that flying at those sort of altitudes was no longer safe because surface-to-air missiles could actually reach you. So the whole Vulcan force then became a low-level bombing force, and that's when we were picking up this new camouflage, low-level colouring scheme, which you see now today on the aircraft we're displaying now.
I think it's so good, because I know that it's privately owned now. This is the only one that's currently flying, isn't it?
Well, I'll just check you there. It's not privately owned.
Oh, right, go on.
It's publicly owned.
Publicly owned.
The British public effectively own the Vulcan. It's run as a charity, a charitable trust, and we only keep flying it purely because the British public want to see it, and they've donated money and kept the aircraft flying. And the aircraft is known as the people's aircraft because of that.
That's brilliant. Ken, can I just say thank you so much. It's an honour to meet you, and long may the donations from the public come in and we see the Vulcan continue to fly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Meanwhile, having taxied out on the north side of the runway and lining up out on the runway are the 9 Hawks of the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the RedArrows. Squadron leader Mike Ling knows everything he tells me about the RedArrows. Mike, I know you've worked out how to turn on the microphone. Let's see if it works. Ladies and gentlemen, Squadron leader Mike Ling.
Thank you, Stratton. It's working. Hurrah! Well, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. As Stratton said, I'm Squadron leader Mike Ling. I'm Red 10. I'm the supervisor with the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the RedArrows, who you can see lining up on the runway just now. At the front, we have Reds 1, 2 and 3. 750 feet behind them will be Reds 4 and 5, and at the very back, Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9. They're lining up, getting ready for their display takeoff. You'll hear Red 5 very shortly tell Red 1 that he is 750 feet ahead and that he can stop his section. Red 6 says we're all aboard. Now listening to Red 1.
Hello, Farnborough, Red 1 here. We're just lining up for our takeoff now. Looking forward to a safe display. Got a nice streak up. Hopefully we can go through. Okay.
The 9 headlights come on. The pilots get a full power on their Rolls-Royce outdoor engines, winding up to 5,200 pounds of thrust. And there we go, a bit of British red, white and blue. Red 1, 2, 3 release their brakes. 1 second later, Red 4 and 5. And 2.5 seconds later, Red 6, 7, 8 and 9. These engines now power them up, accelerating through about 100 miles an hour already. And they'll be rotating to get airborne about 150 miles an hour. now going to move across and form box formation. You'll see that Red 4 and 5 are going to be joined onto the front section. They'll be coming left shortly. Part of this display takeoff, the idea being that they're going to get all 9 aircraft from the runway to being in one formation together as quickly as possible. The pilots are going to take the jets away for just a couple of minutes. They're going to get them trimmed out, get the smoke systems primed, and then they'll be running in to start the show in just a couple of minutes' time. Red 6 calls turn over to our left.
Coming left. Now.
Red 1 to 5 enter a left-hand turn. Now Red 6 will bring his box into form Diamond 9. Well, 2014 is a very big year for the Red Arrows. It is in fact our 50th display season. And in those 50 seasons, the team have performed over 4,500 public displays in 56 countries. We're very proud and honoured to represent the very best of British, both at home and overseas. Well, as our official title, the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team suggests, we are part of the Royal Air Force. Today, the Royal Air Force's purpose is twofold. It's to protect the nation and its interests 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. And it's to provide the nation with choices during times of crisis. To do that, we have a battle-winning capability using high-end technology that's operated by very well experienced and trained personnel. We do that by either using our combat air, with our fast jet fleet, or by using our new air mobility fleet to support ongoing operations or deliver humanitarian aid across the world. The Red Arrow's primary purpose is to demonstrate the strength and relevance of the Royal Air Force, most importantly by demonstrating the excellence of its people and the world-class training they have received. Our secondary roles include defence diplomacy, supporting British industry, and assisting in recruiting for the British military. We are a military unit of around 120 personnel. We're following a normal command structure of every other fast jet squadron. We're commanded by Wing Commander Neil Fraser. Wing Commander Fraser is a Harrier pilot by trade, and he is in charge of all of the administrative, safety and disciplinary functions of the squadron. He commands 10 pilots, including myself and the 9 display pilots who are about to be performing. But underneath us is our support structure. Now, the pilots wear red suits, but our support sections wear blue suits. They're primarily engineers, so we do have photographers, suppliers, administrators and drivers who help represent the spectrum of the ground trades within the Royal Air Force. So the blues outnumber the reds by about 10 to 1, and they truly are the hard-working members of the team and work tirelessly to make sure that our busy summer season is a success. There are lots of the blues here at the Farnborough Airshow today, so if you see somebody in a blue flying suit with a Red Arrows crest on their arm, please pat them on the back and pass on our thanks for their efforts. Well, back to the display. We have 3 types of show we can fly depending on the weather. Our full display allows looping manoeuvres that need a cloud base of around 5,500 feet. If it's lower than that, it'll be our rolling show, which allows formation barrel rolls. Red 1 will make the decision as he runs in. I'm hoping with this big blue gap he can fly a full display. We'll see how he gets on as he runs into the show. Well, when they arrive, they're going to be in a formation we call Big Battle. This is a big V shape. The jets are around 20 feet away from each other, and they're flying at 400 miles an hour. Now, boys and girls, I've been a Red Arrows display pilot myself. I do know that when they fly past, they will be able to see you waving. So when I tell you, I want your arms in the air and lots of waving. Just heard Red 1 say they're going to start with a full display. So now please, warm your vocal cords up. Lots of clapping and cheering. Here they are. It's the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the RedArrows! Red 1 pulls them up into that loop and now calls them into short diamonds. You'll see the aircraft now collapse to around 6 feet away from each other. They reach a height of 6,000 feet and form a short diamond formation. Leading the formation is Red 1, the squadron leader Jim Turner. It's his 3rd and final year as the team's leader. He's a former Jaguar pilot, but he's very experienced in the display world, having displayed the Jaguar, spent 3 years previously with the Red Arrows, including leading the Silk Air. More recently, he was the assistant advisor to the Royal Saudi Air Force's display team. now acknowledge that move to Eagle. They do so with very set cadence in their voices, which means that on the count of 4 in their heads, the pilots extend their air brakes, and on 6, they retract their air brakes, and that enables the 3 aircraft on each wing to drop back in unison to form Eagle, and in from the right, they're going to fly the Eagle roll. Now, as the jets go upside down, boys and girls, this is where they'll see you waving. When the RedArrows formed back in 1964 and their first season in 1965, the aircraft they used was already smashed. That was the predecessor to the Hawk and was the advanced jet trainer in the Royal Air Force in that era. In 1976, the Hawker Siddeley Hawk entered service with the Royal Air Force, and in 1980, the RedArrows began to use the Hawk as their aerobatic aircraft. It's a very successful export, now a product of BAE Systems. It's been sold to over 19 countries across the world, and it continues to impress in its guise as an advanced jet trainer. Front left now, the smoke goes off for its 4 and 5 have moved forward. Now they're going to show us the platform of the Russian fighter jet, the Su-27. The NATO code word for the Su-27 is flanker. They're about to form a very wide shape now. Red 8 and 9 will move to the outside of the formation. And from Red 9's left wing tip through to Red 8's right wing tip, the formation now measures 100 metres or 300 feet. Now, to enable the formation to stay as one as they manoeuvre around the sky, the outside pilots really have to anticipate their control inputs. And to enable them to do that, they use the cadence in Red 1's voice command. But now, they form that wide formation. We're going to have some very patriotic red, white and blue, and hopefully a huge round of applause, and they show you Phoenix. Listen to that cadence in Red 1's voice. On the leader's right wing is Red 2. He's one of our first-year pilots this year. He's Red 2 Flight Attendant Hugh Campbell. He's a former Tucano instructor, having taught basic fast jet training and also displayed the Tucano aircraft. Operationally, he flew the Tornado GR4. Out to the right, the smoke's on. The boys are forming our trademark shape. And in true 1960s and 70s style, all 9 jets are now going to put their smoke on as they fly the Diamond Roll. Another big wave, boys and girls. Now we fly the majority of our formations with the odd number of pilots on the left-hand side and even number of pilots fly on the right-hand side. In their 3-year tour with the team, the pilots will generally start at the front near the leader, and as their proficiency improves, they move further back. On the leader's left wing now is the other of our first-year pilots for this year. He's Red 3. Flight Lieutenant Joe Wilson. Joe is a former Hawk flying instructor, and then he moved on to operationally fly the Tornado GR4. In fact, Joe is the only pilot on the team who has flown this version of Hawk, the Hawk T Mark 1, and also is instructed on the Royal Air Force's new advanced jet trainer, the Hawk T Mark 2. Out to the left, the smoke goes off. The boys have formed a very iconic shape. This is of the supersonic airliner. And they're going to put the smoke on to perform the Concorde Loop. They pull up at 4G and 400 miles an hour. to 400 miles an hour. The G's building up to 4G. They're in that RedArrows show. That's a mouthful to say on the radio. So we call this Fred. That's the end of the first half of the RedArrows display, ladies and gentlemen, where you've seen all 9 aircraft performing close formation aerobatics. We're now going to split down into sections of 2, 3, 4, 5 or 7 aircraft and show you some more dynamic manoeuvring. At the front of the formation are Reds 1 to 5. We call them Enid after Enid Blyton's famous 5. And at the back are Reds 6 to 9. They're known as Jippo. Jippo is the nickname of the gentleman who first led the back 4 when the RedArrows started officially flying 9-jet displays in 1968. You can see that the formation is forming that wide phoenix shape again. Definitely time to get your cameras ready. They're going to roll out directly towards us in Phoenix to start the second half of the display. Red 1 to 5, 8 and 9, pull up in wide Phoenix. Keep your eyes on the synchro pair with the blue smoke underneath. This is the palm split. With his smoke changing from blue to white on the left-hand side is Red 6. He's the leader of the synchro pair. Flight Lieutenant James McMillan. He actually grew up in New Zealand, but he transferred to the Royal Air Force in 2002, becoming a hawk instructor and Harrier pilot. His third and final year at the RedArrow. On the left, he's chased down by Red 8. Looking right with the smoke on is Red 7. He's followed by Red 9. These 4 aircraft are now descending and they'll be closing at 850 miles an hour. Get your cameras ready. This is the amazing Jippo's Pass. Leave their smoke on, they're now turning away from us at 60 or 6 times the force of gravity. That means everything in their body weighs 6 times more than normal. These pilots are working hard to counter the G-force as they roll out, point towards us to fly the Cyclone. Pair slingshot out to the front. We need to look to our left for Enid. The wings of Enid drop down to form an inverted V shape, but if you look to your right, coming down the runway is a low jet, that is Red 9. He's now going to perform the goose. Operationally, quite soon, the Royal Air Force's new multi-role combat aircraft will be activated in an hour's time. Well, Enid climbs steeply to our right. Look directly to the front for the synchro pair. They pull up at 500 miles an hour, 5 times the force of gravity. Reach a height of just under 7,000 feet. The red smoke comes on as they get ready to draw a heart. Now keep your eyes to the top left of the heart. Here comes another jet to add a final touch. His smoke comes on. This is Red 8, Flight Lieutenant Martin Perk, Percy's 3rd year with the team, a former Hawk instructor and display pilot and Harrier pilot. And Percy's asked me to say hello to his lovely wife Susie, their son Fraser, and Susie's twin sister Rachel and her friends and family. So, Susie and Rachel, this heart is for you. The synchro pair are coming back. They're going to descend to their display height of just 100 feet. And they're going to perform the opposition barrel roll. In fact, Red 8 still joining that formation, having just drawn the spear through the heart. He's been flying around at 600 miles an hour to get back in formation. You can see them just joining now to the right 45 degrees. Red 1 pulls them up in a 7-ship Vixen formation. Now twisting this link towards us through 90 degrees in a quarter clover. Get your cameras ready. This is the vertical brake. From our right and Red 7 from our left. They're closing at 800 miles an hour. They're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360 degrees, 6 U-turns in the carousel. Now they're avoiding each other and watch how the pilots watch their split colour as each crosses. These are the aircraft control colours and on which there are the individual colour control buttons. Look to your right 45 degrees above the pre-flight safety building. Enid are in a shape called Leader's Benefit, and they're drawing a red, white and blue snake-like shape of smoke in the sky in the horizon. Red 4 is flight attendant Ollie Parr. It's Ollie's second year with the UK former ATR 4 pilot. He has spent instruction on the Hawke C1 at Royal Air Force Valley on Anglesey in North Wales, where we train our advanced flying students. So Enid finished the Python. Keep your eyes in that direction, down towards the end of the runway to find Jippo. Red 6 and 7 picked up to roll upside down. This is the corkscrew. Red 7, they're working hard, flying his jet only 8 feet away from Red 6, but doing it while he's upside down. Now get your eyes to the left to find the 5 headlights of Enid. The inside pilots perform tight Mach rolls to the outside of the formation in the rollback. Enid finished their rollback. Keep your eyes down that end of the runway and find Jippo. Once again, Red 6 and 7 roll upside down. Now 8 and 9 will match their formation underneath. In from the right, this is the mirror pass. Now, boys and girls, give the synchro pair a wave as they fly past upside down. advance for the formation to widen as they roll out in a four-ship square card formation. Over to the right, 45 above the cream building. Red 1 to 4 form a box formation. And here goes Red 5, rolling around them a dozen times. This is the Twister. Here with the team. He's a former Hawk flying instructor and an operation he's flown both the Harrier GR9 and the Tornado GR4 before donning his red suit for the first time last year. Now look directly above the air traffic control tower for Jippo. Reds 8 and 9 pitch up to roll around 6 and 7. Cameras ready now for the Jippo break. Where he spent 3 tours flying over Iraq, Afghanistan and Libya and became a qualified weapons instructor. Well, the Synchro are now descending to their final manoeuvre of the display. These are the double rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Synchro pair. Are being joined again by Reds 8 and 9 for the display finale. They are back in a 7-ship Vixen formation, and this is the Vixen break. We are the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, RedArrows! Gather all 9 aircraft back together. We're going to come and land here at Farnborough, where our team of engineers on the other side of the runway are our spare aircraft will stand the deck for smoking and more fuel in. So we're getting airborne from here at 6:45 this evening to head back to our home base of Royal Air Force Scampton, which is 4 miles north of Lincoln. Just a couple of minutes time, they'll be coming in from the right-hand side. So out to the front now, they're forming that big battle shape. This is the one they arrived in when they started the display, and they'll come in from your right-hand side to perform a big battle break in just a couple of minutes' time. If you'd like to find out more about the team, our website is ras.mod.uk/red. There's lots of information on there, including lots of the history of the team in our 50th display season. On Facebook, we're RAF RedArrows, and on Twitter, we are at RAF RedArrows. Incidentally, while we wait for the team to come back, I'll talk to you about how we generate our smoke. So the smoke is actually just regular diesel fuel that we inject into the aircraft's 400-degree engine exhaust, and that makes it vaporize. So white smoke is just pure diesel. To get the red and blue, we add a dye to the diesel, and each jet can carry 5 minutes of white smoke and a minute each of red and blue. An especially modified container beneath each jet. The display is designed to use the optimum amount of smoke, so those jets will be landing now with very little diesel left in their tanks. So what you're going to see now is in big battle, the jets will run along the runway at 350 knots at 300 feet, which is about 400 miles an hour. They're going to pitch up sequentially reds 1 through 9, and they'll pull about 5.5 to 6 G in about 2-second intervals. I'll let you listen in as they do that. As they roll up downwind, the jets will slow down to about 200 miles an hour, which enables them to drop their undercarriage. Into the right, the big battle breaks. Roll up downwind, they're slowing down to 200 miles an hour. Keep your eyes on red one, you'll see his undercarriage is being lowered. Then as they turn final to land, they'll slow down again to about 150 miles an hour, which is their touchdown speed. They'll be landing on runway 24 long here, so there's a white line across the runway short of the, we call the piano keys. It's the long runway which is used here at Farnborough. The cool gear, when red one lands, you'll see that he's going to put a glip of white smoke out, and that enables the following aircraft to assess what's happening with the drift, and therefore what's happening with the leading aircraft, wake turbulence and jet wash, so they can affect their landing pattern. The odd-numbered pilots land on the left-hand side of the runway, the even-numbered pilots land on the right. So with the drift, as they're looking at it from right to left, the pilots on the right will have a low stack, they come in shallower, and then the pilots on the punch through that wake by having a slightly steeper approach angle. So red one's just about to touch down. Over the last couple of days, I've had a little competition running against all the pilots, so I'd like the crowd to cheer as I say their names as they land and run past us on the runway. We'll see who's going to be the overall winner of the weekend. So touching down now, a little bit of white smoke from red one. You'll see it drift as we're looking at it from left to right. And that's how they're forming the stack, as we call it. So here we go, red one, squadron leader, Jim Turner. Coming past us now is one of our first year guys, Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Stu Campbell. Now Red 3's just gone around there. I was just talking about what happens with the wake turbulence. You might have seen his wingtip. That was because he was affected by that wake turbulence. That wake turbulence happening. So touching down now is Red 5, Flight Lieutenant Steve Morris. You look carefully, Steve's waving at you as he goes past. Coming past us now is leader of the synchro pair. He's Red 6, Flight Lieutenant James McMillan. Giving a big wave as he does so. Following him is Red 7, Flight Lieutenant Mark Lawson. Red 8, Flight Lieutenant Martin Pratt, one of our third-year pilots, very experienced Renari pilot. Red 9 now coming is Flight Lieutenant Mike Childs. Now all that wake turbulence is cleared, so in comes to land now will be Red 3. They'll stop at the end of the runway, and then they'll get the formation together for a taxi off to the right. Round to our engineers, the blues who are over by our spare jet, the white coach, you can see the other side of the airfield. Here he is, last but by no means least, Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Joe Hurston. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful weekend here at the Farnborough International Airshow. We love coming here. It's been great talking